Aha! We are live, my friends. Yes, indeed. So we have the final beer I'm going to be reviewing tonight. And this is another one from Breton Brewing. We started with Breton Brewing. We're ending with Breton Brewing. And this is their Black Angus IPA. Unfortunate colors when I'm pushing this into the glare of my Sony Bravia TV that I use as second monitor. And this silver on white can color here. They say the citrusy IPA was named after the largest natural giant ever recorded, which is Angus McCaskill, who was a famous giant from here in the Maritimes, who was famous for deadlifting anchors. And I don't know if this is true or not, but from what I remember, he actually died from doing that. It slipped or something in his grip. He lost his strength or whatever, and the anchor actually pierced his side, and he died from tetanus or whatever the fuck happened, whatever poisoning, or I think that's true. Angus McCaskill is almost like sort of a folk hero in the Maritimes. Like, everyone has a story about how their family can trace themselves back to Angus McCaskill and shit. I think even my grandmother claimed that at one point. So, it's one of those things. Whatever. It's cool. But, 6.2% ABV, just a standard IPA from Breton Brewing here in Nova Scotia. They say they're making greatness in the most unexpected of places. If you actually look at the can art, you can't really see it if I held it up and showed it to you because of the glare and all that shit, but very detailed can art on this thing. Like mountains and I assume Cape Breton. Lots of ocean spray and just the ocean itself and clouds and barrels. I assume like beer kegs floating in the ocean, and there's a ship, fucking almost like a Spanish galleon or some shit. A lot of shit going on in this fucking can. I actually never really closely looked at it before. But yeah, Breton Brewing out of Sydney, NS, here in Nova Scotia, Cape Breton. If you're not familiar where Cape Breton is, it's the island. It's the if you turn Nova Scotia up, it would be if you turned it the other way, it would be like the little period under the to make the exclamation point almost. All right, let's pour this fucker. Ooh. All right. Yeah, it's hazy. Hazy, kind of like not quite a tequila sunrise, but something close there, kind of in color. Pretty hazy. And this is not designed as like a New England IPA or any of that bullshit. It's just a standard IPA that they really don't bother filtering. They're like, fuck that shit. We want the particulates in there. We want a maximum flavor. So there you go. Pretty beer. Murky beer. Let's go to the aroma. Let's see. Very well balanced, like grapefruit, mango kind of smell. And again, like I said, it's not in New England IPA, but it does have some similar notes. It is a modern IPA is probably the best way to put it. Because you do get a little bit of that kind of a tropical bent to it. But it doesn't smell like a big juice bomb or anything like that. It still smells like a beer. It doesn't smell like juice, just straight up. A little bit of musty, grainy kind of quality to it a little as well. Yeah, mostly grapefruit. Just very mild grapefruit and like some caramel malt in the background, a little bit of maybe kind of a mango-ish quality to it. But that's about it. Smells very good. So cheers, and we'll go to the taste here. So this is one I buy often. It's very simple. It's got a very decent, slightly dialed back grapefruit kind of sourness on it. You get a nice balance with the actual sort of caramel maltiness. Nothing's too intrusive either way on either direction. So it's, well balanced. I mean, it's something I always look for in a beer, and I often seem to get it these days, strangely enough. It's almost as if breweries know how to make beers now. Yeah, and the finish on this is fairly dry. I wouldn't say it's super dry, not super bitter. The IBUs, I believe, on the website they list as 60. But it's, again, that number doesn't necessarily tell you how bitter it's going to be. And this is definitely, it feels lower than what you would kind of expect in the 60 range. It's a little bit milder. But it's very tasty, very simple, very IPA. That's what I'd say. Is it one of my favorite IPAs? Probably not. It's in the middle of the pack kind of thing. Style-wise, yeah, this is straight up an IPA. It's not a modern IPA that's either going to be like super juicy and mild and all about the haze and all that bullshit. And it's also not one of those big fucking palate wrecking hop bombs either. It's just very well constructed, well put together, but still noticeably moderate enough that it's not like a more like on the caramel malt side, like traditional kind of British IPA, or what we have come to think of as like a traditional British IPA. Whether there's actual truth in that or not, that's kind of disputed. I don't want to get into that. Style-wise, 8. I'll put an 8 on it. Could use a little bit more character. Could maybe a little bit more going on. Maybe, a few more notes here and there. But I'm not, it's a minor complaint. Overall enjoyment, I will throw a 7 at this. This is something like I said, I often do pick up, but it's not, it's not the thing I immediately run out and grab off the shelf every week or anything like that. It's like, I'm in the mood for an IPA. I don't want something that's going to challenge me, that's going to be, really fucking my palate up while I'm trying to enjoy myself. And this fits the bill, man. Really fits the bill. So 8 for style, 7 for my overall on the Black Angus from Breton Brewing. And there you go. So that's it for me for tonight. As far as reviewing beers, anyway, still got plenty of hours to just sit back and listen to tunes and drink whatever little bit of beer I still have left around. Cheers. Hope you enjoy having a good Easter weekend, or if you're watching this later on, whatever the fuck you're doing. This could be Christmas. Could be like next Christmas. You're watching this just for the first time. If that's the case, Merry Christmas. Or if, whatever, you could be watching this on fucking Halloween. Happy Halloween. Or it could just be a random Thursday. Throwback Thursday. Throw back some fucking beers. Well, I don't fucking care. Do what you got to do, boo. All right, guys. Cheers. Have a good night, day, whatever. And we'll be back again sometime soon for another High Tide Imbibe. Let's end this broadcast.